my pleasure to turn it over to our colleague Colin Hackman, joining us from Carolina Beach. Good work so far today, Colin. What's the latest where you are?
Well, you know, Gannon, we're under, just a few minutes ago, we had heavy rain here at the north end of Carolina Beach and a lull in the precipitation, but no lull in the sustained wind speeds here. It has continued to march up into the 40s, probably now sustained upper 40s. We have seen some gusts occasionally up in the upper 50s, likely here. I don't have an anemometer right here with me, but we do have some strong winds that continue to cut right out of the north and northeast. You can see the big waves. We've had wave heights probably at 10 to 15 feet. As you move away from the Carolina Beach Pier, those continue to grow. This pier, as I mentioned earlier in today's broadcast, is no stranger to tropical systems. We were here for Tropical Storm Beryl. This pier had originally been about 100 feet longer than what it was until Hurricane Fran, Bertha, and Bonnie in 96, 98, and then Floyd in 99. You can see the strong surf now starting to move in. And one thing that has changed a little bit here over the course of the last half hour or so is how close the water's getting to the rock wall here. There's a lot of people out looking at the storm, watching nature's wonder that have been relaxed up to this point, but we have had a few downpours that have made things a little bit more tense here at the north edge of the Carolina Beach Pier. Folks, the bar is open, the pier is closed, so that gives you an idea of kind of the philosophy maybe of the Eastern North Carolina lifestyle. A lot of people really interested in to see what will happen, maybe never having seen a tropical storm or tropical system. My best advice to you, because of a couple things. One, you mentioned it, Gannon, the potential for some localized flooding, street flooding, rain flooding inland and just off of the main shore here is going to be hazardous for drivers. And then the other thing, of course, is we don't want extra people out on the roadways. Public safety already being taxed with the fact that it is a holiday weekend and resources are thin, plus the fact that we have all of this going on, make it better, much better for you to watch from the comfort of your home and leave this to me. We're going to continue to report live out here throughout the afternoon hours as Arthur continues to make its way up the coast. Guys?
All right, thanks so much, Colin.
We're keeping a close eye on those winds. One person right in the middle of those winds, WECT's Colin Hackman, watching the conditions. Actually, he's come inside to a much calmer conditions right now. Colin?
You wimp, Colin. Inside. What are you doing?
Yeah, you know how I do it. Just find the path of least resistance like a lot of these people have done here at the North Pier at Carolina Beach. You can see they've been watching our updates and monitoring what's happening here and trying to enjoy themselves as much as they possibly can. You notice that there are a lot of folks that are still drying out. I wanted to show you something here briefly. If you want to walk outside, the dichotomy between what's happening indoors and what's happening just outside, where we have 40-mile-per-hour winds continuing to move in out of the east-northeast. You can see the waves. They're relatively large here at the Carolina Beach North End Pier. We're just to the south of Freeman Park. This is a pier that has been through a lot of storms and has survived them. So these tropical storm force sustained winds. The last look I had, there's a terminal about 3 or 4 miles to the south of where we are that is reporting wind speeds at about 40 mile per hour sustained, some wind speeds up to 50 miles per hour. Ryan Koreska, our chief photographer, going to walk with me. This stretch of street right here, I know it's going to be difficult to see with these strong winds, usually will flood just in a good high tide. So far, we've been withstanding this fairly well down at the north end of Carolina Beach. A couple of the things that you're going to have to worry about, though, as we move forward, in addition to the possibility of some strong straight line winds, of course, these gradient force winds, also that spin up tornado threat. That's a real thing. We saw that twice today already with 2 tornado warnings that were activated by the National Weather Service due to what looked like water spouts that rolled on shore, held together very well. Obviously, we have some strong winds here. We're going to continue to bring you the latest. If you are looking at the radar, and Gannon, I know that you've been watching it like a hawk, you can see that there's some pretty heavy convection that's just now moving its way into the Cape Fear region. So we'll continue to watch that. I think I'm going to move from where I am now back inside. Guys?
All right.
Good idea.
Yeah, good idea. Looks like a fun hurricane party out there, too.
Yeah. And again, as Colin was saying, we're going to get, this is our beach cam in Wrightsville Beach, giving you more of the heavy surf going on. Colin mentioned 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts.
Yeah, we're getting close.
So we're right at that point where officials said about 6 o'clock when they might close the Snows Cut Bridge. So if you got to get there, you got to get off the island.
You better do it now.
You better do it now, and be careful if you've got to do it. Now, meteorologist Colin Hackman has been in Carolina Beach. He's there now where the conditions, as we just saw with Hurricane Arthur, seem to be getting a little bit worse.
Let's go out to
Colin.
Colin.
Yeah, they are. We have continued to see wind speeds picking up. I want to bring Ryan with us down here. We're at the north end of Carolina Beach, and we're kind of shielded on this side of the wall of the Carolina Beach pier structure. But watch what happens when I walk out to where we're unprotected here with the winds coming out of the northeast now. We've seen wind speeds in excess at this point at 50 miles per hour gusts. There's a terminal just down from here where they keep the wind speeds, and those wind speeds have been steady at 45 to 50 miles per hour. I've had some gusts up to 55. I know we're getting rain all over the lens. You can see the waves. They've been battering against the very edge of the North Pier here at Carolina Beach. We're just to the south of Freeman Park, and the winds and the waves have been daunting all afternoon. You can see just down here there have been plenty of people that have been snapping pictures, but those people are becoming fewer and fewer as the conditions continue to deteriorate here along the coast. I want to point out a couple different things. One, obviously the surf. It's a bad idea just to come out at all. We have a lot of localized flooding here right up against Canal, Carolina Beach Avenue North, but also the fact that there have been public safety officers that have come a couple different times and have encouraged people to go ahead and go inside. The conditions just getting a little bit too dicey, perhaps to be outside. There are people inside here at the North Pier that have been enjoying a few beverages and watching the wind and the waves. We've been watching that radar as well as the conditions continue to worsen here. It is a little bit cooler. We've noticed that too. Gannon mentioned that a little bit earlier today, that we will perhaps tap some of those winds from the mid-levels, making it even less comfortable to be outside. We're going to continue to report live from here and other locations across southeastern North Carolina as we track Hurricane Arthur as it makes its north and northeasterly jag. Guys?
Let's go now to Wrightsville Beach with Emily DeVoe to find out what's going on there. Emily?
Well, it would be an understatement. It would be an understatement to say things have really changed at Wrightsville Beach since we came to you about an hour ago. I'm even having a hard time standing up right now. The rain, the winds, everything is pelting at me. And if you can see, there's still a few people out here. Even people out on the bridge right now. It's dangerous conditions. And I can barely even see right now. But anyway, back to you guys live in Wrightsville Beach. I'm Emily DeVoe, WECT News.
Poor thing.
Yeah, you know, we've got to chuckle a little bit.
Yeah.
Some of our younger reporters, this is the
The
first time they're
yeah.
out experiencing
Yeah.
the elements
Yeah.
of a hurricane, and that's what you
can-
do.
Yeah, you can see it. She was having a difficult time, similar to what Colin was experiencing when we went to him just before 5 o'clock. When one of those bands comes through, 45, 50 mile an hour winds. And if you want to know what that's like, the next time you're driving down I-40 or something like that, and you're going 45 or 50 miles an hour, put down your car window and put your hand out. That's what those winds feel like, and so that's what she's dealing with on Wrightsville Beach right now.
And then, of course, with the wind blowing and
Yep.
the rain,
The
it
sand.
blows into your eyes, and the sand
Yep.
on the beach. Yeah, it's
Tough
it's an
times.
experience.
Yeah.